Hello, beautiful soul. Today we enter sacred ground, a conversation that is both ancient and deeply needed, healing the wounded masculine within ourselves, our relationships, and our collective story. This isn't just a conversation for men. The divine masculine is an energy that exists in all beings, regardless of gender. He is the current of presence, purpose, direction, structure, protection, and sacred action. He is the mountain, the sun, the fire, the sword of discernment. He is sacred structure and the container that holds. It's the part of us that knows how to witness without fixing, to lead with integrity, to stay grounded when the storms rise. But when that energy is wounded, suppressed, distorted, or exiled, it can manifest as emotional numbness, control, avoidance, defensiveness, or the fear of true vulnerability. This is about energy, not identity, and healing the masculine. It is not about domination or doing more. It's about remembering what it means to hold, to protect, to serve, to stay. And when the masculine is ignored, shamed, or pushed into performance, he forgets how to love without fear. His gifts become shadows, and his power becomes armor, and his silence, it becomes a cage. But when we learn to cleanse, to restore, and to balance both the masculine and the feminine energies within us, it is only then that we step into full embodiment. We step into peace, power, and true self-mastery. Just as the healed divine feminine, she embodies both the sacred light and the sacred dark. She's both nurturing and fierce. She's soft and sovereign. So too does the sacred masculine. He holds the full spectrum in his essence. He is both the protector and the destroyer, the still mountain and the cleansing fire. And in his wholeness, he balances the radiant clarity of the light with the uncompromising truth of the dark, and one without the other is incomplete. So together they create the embodied, awakened, sacred masculine, the one who leads with presence, purpose, and power, aligned with truth. When healed, the sacred light masculine energy, it rises strong and steady, not to dominate, but to anchor. His strength, it is not force, but it is stillness and presence. He listens before he speaks. He moves with intention, and he holds boundaries like sacred ground. His presence calms the room, not because he demands attention, but because he is attention. He's awake, he's aware, and he's unshaken. He does not chase approval, nor fear rejection, for he knows who he is beyond his titles and praise. He protects without control, leads without ego, and loves without losing himself. He is the sacred container, the steady ground beneath the vision. He holds space with unwavering presence, allowing dreams to take form, emotions to move freely, and purpose to anchor deeply. He is the structure through which creation flows. He is the anchor that makes movement safe. And from his grounded strength, ideas are built, goals are realized, and the wildfire of inspiration finds its shape. The sacred light masculine, he's not about performance. Instead, he is a quiet, steady flame that remembers its source and burns clean with his purpose. And then there is my favorite, the energy that I am currently working with within my own body, the sacred dark masculine. He's often feared, misunderstood. He is the energy that unsettles the false and exposes the hidden. Only those who are rooted within their own wholeness can meet him without trembling. For his presence does not comfort, it awakens. It burns through illusion, it calls forth truth, and it demands integrity. And to stand in his frequency is to stand bare, seen, and sovereign. He is the one who walks where others just won't go. He walks into the shadowlands, through the silence, beneath the lies and the manipulations. He does not flinch in the face of darkness or death. He was born in it, forged by it, and now commands it. The sacred dark masculine, he is not cruel, but he is uncompromising. He is the sword of truth that cuts through denial and illusion. He's the fire that burns away the false, the storm that clears stagnant ground. He's feared by many because he is bright and penetrating, just like the sun. And he cannot be controlled, brought, or appeased. He answers only to truth. He demands integrity. He destroys illusion. He protects not with softness, but with ferocity. And to witness him is to truly feel your soul exposed. And to stand with him is to know that you are safe. He is the one who sees what is hidden. He speaks what others silence, and he restores what was once violated. He is not the villain. He is the reckoning. He is the holy fire. However, when the masculine energy is wounded through suppression, distortion, or neglect, it becomes shadowed, but not in a sacred way. The wounded masculine, he is a shell of what he was meant to be, disconnected from his heart, exiled from his truth. He clings to control because he was never taught how to feel safe in surrender. He builds walls instead of boundaries. He dominates instead of leads. He retreats instead of reveals. Sometimes he appears as the aggressor, loud, inflated, desperate to be seen. But other times he hides in passivity, silenced, shrunken, unsure of his worth. Both are wounds of the same root, a forgotten initiation, a fractured identity, a boy left without a map to become a man. He fears the very parts of himself that would truly set him free, and in that fear, he repeats the patterns of pain that he was never allowed to either hold or grieve. So today we journey into awareness, into embodiment, into wholeness as we dismantle and identify the wounded masculine energy within us. So why would we want to heal the masculine within? Because there is a wound in the world, a fracture that is so deep that we feel it in our breath, in our relationships, in the quiet ache beneath our achievements. It echoes in every moment that we abandon ourselves to keep the peace, to earn love, and to be enough. You've always known that something wasn't right. Not in words, maybe not even in thoughts, but in the way that you hesitate to speak your truth, in the way that your yes is shaped by someone else's fear, in the way silence has become your safety, even when it costs you your truth. There is a kind of tiredness that no amount of sleep can touch, a heaviness in your bones that has nothing to do with effort and everything to do with a life that was never truly yours. And you feel it, the stir beneath the surface, the lion within you beginning to remember that it was meant to always be wild and free. You're not fully awake yet, but you're remembering, and that remembering is sacred. There is a part of you, not the one who pleases, not the one who hides, not the one who performs masculinity like a mask, but the one who watches, the one who waits, the one who never left. You were never broken, only bruised and buried beneath stories, roles, obligations that were never yours to carry. You didn't fail them. The truth is, you were never meant to save them. Not your parents, not your partners, not the systems. There is no shame here, no blame, only truth. And the truth is this: you were never made to be someone else's emotional shelter. You were never meant to live small, quiet, and invisible, just to keep the world comfortable. You do not belong to anyone. You are the one who chooses, the one who stands, the one who remembers. And there is an ancient part of you still waiting to be claimed, not because you were weak, but because you were never shown the way. But now you are finding it. You are here to reclaim your power, to anchor into the earth, to breathe like the world belongs to you, and to lead from a place where no one else can take from you. You are here to become whole, not perfect, not polished, for there is beauty in your anger, in your rawness, in your wildness. You are not healing to become something else. You are healing to come home. So let your spine rise like a mountain. Let your feet anchor deep into the earth beneath you, and let your breath widen, steady, and become true. You are remembering now, and that is enough. And that is why you want to do the work to heal your inner masculine, so that you can come home to yourself, reclaim your story. So let's look at the wounded masculine. So when the masculine is wounded, we lose more than protection. We lose truth. We lose presence. We lose the sacred structure that holds the feminine in her fullness. And without initiation into his deeper purpose, the masculine is left to navigate life through performance, through suppression, and through overcompensation. He doesn't know where to anchor his power, so he performs it. He doesn't know how to hold emotion, so he shuts it down. He doesn't know how to stay with the feminine, so he fears her, he fixes her, or he runs from her. And yet, within all of us, beyond the wounding, lives the conscious sacred masculine who is waiting to return. So sometimes the wound, it was planted by absent fathers, or maybe by role models who were physically present but emotionally closed off. Sometimes it formed through enmeshed bonds with our mothers, where love was conditional and boundaries were blurred. And often it was reinforced by a culture that shamed emotions, mocked vulnerability, and told us that crying, feeling deeply, or being raw was a sign of weakness. The wounded masculine is the part of us that resists stillness, that avoids commitment, and fears the depth of feeling. It's the restless energy that runs, not because it's free, but because it's unanchored. So as you listen to this episode, I invite you to reflect gently. Where does the wounded masculine still live within you? Where does he speak, act, or withdraw? And what might he truly need in order to give him the power to rise like he was divinely created to? The wounded masculine, he can show up in many forms, but there are two primary expressions of the wounded masculine. The first expression is the overexpressed or the tyrant. So this looks like hyper control and domination, which is often rooted in fear, emotional shutdown or numbness, the inability to be still or to rest. It's just that chronic doing, overachieving. He holds aggression that is masked as strength. He holds a fear of vulnerability. He shows rigidity, dismissiveness, and coldness. He holds the misuse of authority or logic. He seeks validation through power, through sex, or through success. And he is disconnected from the heart, the soul, and the body. The other expression is the underexpressed or the collapsed king. So this looks like passivity or apathy, which is masked as peace, avoidance of responsibility, fear of power and leadership, emotional detachment, lack of direction or purpose. He often people pleases and lacks boundaries. He's avoidant of responsibility, intimacy or truth, and he holds a deep hidden feeling of not being enough. So let us now walk into the quiet ache of the wounded masculine, not to criticize him, but to witness him, to name the archetypes that arise when he has been cut off from his own truth. Each holds a story, each holds a wound, and beneath that wound is a longing to come back home. This is not about fixing the masculine. It is about reclaiming him in all of us as sacred, conscious, courageous, and whole. These archetypes, they're not costumes, they are energetic patterns, they are living frequencies that we all carry regardless of our gender. So here are 9 key expressions of the masculine energy and what happens when they become wounded. And as we journey through the archetypes, just breathe deeply and just notice what energetic fragments reside within you. So the first one that we have is the king. So the wounded king, he is often a tyrant. He is entitled, power hungry, and often absent. But in his sacred energy, he is a grounded leader. He is benevolent, he is wise, and he is devoted. The second is the warrior. So in his wounded form, he is aggressive, reactive, often over-controlling and emotionally numb. But when he is in his sacred energy, he is protective, courageous, disciplined, discerning, and he is aligned with integrity. We have the magician. So the wounded magician is manipulative, deceptive, shadowy in not the best way, and he's lost in illusions. But when he's healed, he becomes a visionary, spiritual, connected to intuition and truth. We have the lover. So when he's wounded, he is addicted, possessive, emotionally volatile, and avoidant. But in his healed form, he is present, open-hearted, sensual, and emotionally attuned. Then there is the sage. When he's wounded, it looks like detachment, coldness, condescending, intellectualizing emotions. But when he's healed, he is discerning, wise, deeply listening. He is open and he is humble in truth. We have the father. So when the father is wounded, it is critical, withholding, emotionally unavailable, and absent. But when the father is healed, he becomes nurturing, strong, steady, and emotionally safe. There is the rebel. So the wounded rebel is reckless, turbulent, cynical, and self-destructive. But when he's healed, he is bold, transformative. He brings sacred disruption for collective evolution. The builder, the wounded builder is overworked, disconnected from joy, finds worth only in success and material things. But when he is healed, he is purposeful, steady, and he creates systems that serve all of life. Then there is the initiator. When he's wounded, he's abusive of power and he seeks control through fear. But when he's healed, he guides others through thresholds and he holds space for transformation. So we all hold these archetypes within us. Some of them we hold in balance and some in distortion. And the work is not to judge them, but to see them clearly and offer them space to evolve. So how do we heal the masculine? So the sacred masculine, he does not heal through shame. He heals through remembrance of who he truly is beneath the conditioning, the armor, the silence. The wounded masculine is not a personal failing. It's a collective inheritance, a survival pattern that has been passed through generations who were taught to be useful but not whole. He doesn't need to soften, he just needs to return. He needs to return to his wholeness, to truth, to presence. And he heals through truth by holding radical honesty with the self, with others. No more suppressing, pretending, or performing. Truth is the ground where he stands tall again. He heals through emotional safety, so learning to sit with pain without trying to fix it, flee from it, or numb it, and to feel it deeply, and to remain anchored in sacred courage while he does that. He heals by holding responsibility with love. So he owns his impact, not from a place of guilt, but from devotion. Devotion to serve better, to become better. Accountability becomes an act of honor and not shame. He heals by having devotion to something meaningful. So he anchors himself into something greater, whether it's a purpose, whether it's his presence, whether it is the divine. And he lives not just to survive, but to serve. He heals as he actively chooses to live from a place of presence over performance. So he removes the mask, he stops performing manhood, and he begins embodying it. You see, the true masculine is stillness, it's not spectacle. He heals by building conscious structure. So he creates routines, he sets goals, he honors commitments, not to control life, but to give it form. Structure, it becomes sacred, a container for the feminine to flow. He heals by tapping into his emotional honesty. He feels the rage, he feels the grief, he feels the numbness, and in feeling it, he releases it. Real strength is born in truth, not submission. He aligns himself with action, but in a sacred, aligned way. So he does not hustle to prove worth. He moves with clarity, with intention, with purpose. And every step, it is sacred. He starts to protect without possession. So he defends what is sacred to him, his time, his energy, his truth. He protects, but he does not control. He honors, but does not grasp. His boundaries are a gift, not a wall. The truth is, the healed masculine, he is not perfect. He is present. He is not without fear, but he does not run from it. He remembers who he is, and in doing so, he makes it safe for the world to remember. The feminine, she does not need a perfect masculine. She needs a present one who can witness her, hold her, meet her, without collapsing or controlling. And the sacred masculine within us, regardless of gender, it longs to rise within. When we learn to balance the feminine and the masculine energies within us, something sacred begins to unfold. The inner masculine no longer dominates or disappears. He becomes the steady mountain, the sacred container, the protector of what is soft and holy. He leads not through control but through presence, and within his safety, the feminine is finally free to rise. You see, this gives her the space to soften within. She opens, she creates and nurtures with trust. No longer performing or protecting herself, she can dance in her full expression, wild, intuitive and radiant. This inner union of both energies is not about roles or rigidity. It is about energetic harmony, and when the masculine holds the feminine flows, and we return to a state of inner wholeness where both strength and softness are sacred, and where love becomes the language that we live by. So how the feminine and the masculine heal are often different. So feminine heals through alchemy. And feminine alchemy is not about fixing what is broken. It is about transmuting what has been forgotten and turning it into gold. It is the sacred art of walking through the shadowlands with tenderness and breath. It is feeling what has long been numbed. It is crying in full colour, raging without shame, softening without apology. It is the moment that you stop performing and you start becoming. The feminine, she doesn't heal by logic or strategy. She heals through sensation, through rhythm, through devotion to what is felt, not just what is seen. Feminine alchemy is the fire of transformation that often begins in silence. It is presence, it is intuition. It is the way that pain becomes her power without force. So this is the alchemy of the trauma, the pain, the tears, the moon, the mystery. It's not linear, it's not clean, it's not easy, but it's sacred and it's unstoppable. Whereas the masculine, he heals through presence. So masculine healing, it is the return to sacred structure. It is walking through the shadowlands of silence, shame and suppression, and choosing to stay present, to witness, to feel, to hold, not with fear but with truth. And when the masculine is wounded, he will run from this. He shuts down, he grasps for control because he was never taught how to hold chaos with calmness. Masculine healing is not about becoming softer. It is about becoming more whole, rebuilding the inner temple with presence, with purpose and integrity, choosing to lead from stillness, not from survival. It is feeling the buried grief, owning the sacred rage without becoming it, taking radical responsibility, not out of guilt, but out of devotion. The healed masculine does not perform power. He holds it with reverence. He does not fear the feminine. He honors her, protects her, and meets her. He becomes the mountain that she can lean into, the fire that she can trust, the presence that stays when everything else falls away. The inner masculine is the steady, calm container that holds the softness of the inner feminine. So both journeys to sacred feminine and sacred masculine are both sacred. Both are necessary, and most of us are walking through both, healing our inner masculine and alchemizing our inner feminine at the same time. So feminine alchemy is how we learn to feel again. Masculine healing is how we learn to hold what we feel with love. And together they create the wholeness that we came here to remember. So let's just take a moment to honor the return of the sacred masculine. He is rising in men, in women, in the collective. He is no longer here to dominate, to suppress, or to run. He is here to build new worlds, hold sacred space, offer clarity, and stand in unwavering presence. The sacred masculine energy, it is inviting you to let him rise within you, not because of what you can do, but because of who you are when you come home to your truth and you come home to him. The world is not healed by force. It is healed by presence, by holding awareness, by having the courage to see what you once had to suppress. So just take a deep breath. Really just drop into your spine. Feel your feet deeply anchor into the earth, and just allow yourself to soften your grip on your control. Because when you are truly present, you are no longer at war with yourself. You become the calm witness, the mountain in the storm, and from this sacred seat of awareness, you begin to see the truth. You see the defenses, the reactivity, the instinct to fix, to flee, to dominate, or to detach. You see the fear behind the silence. You see the grief beneath the rage, and you begin to name the patterns, not to shame them, but to transmute them. So when they come up, you can say, this is the ghost who never learned to stay. This is the tyrant who uses control in order to feel safe. This is the performer trying to earn love through perfection. This is the boy who was never shown how to become the man. And that naming, that tender recognition, that is where the healing and the alchemy begins. So the healed masculine, he has a sacred invitation. And this sacred invitation is, you don't conquer the wound, you meet it. You breathe into it. You hold it without shame. You let the frozen parts of you be seen. You let the overbuilt protector soften his armor. You let the parts of you that were taught not to cry to finally exhale. And slowly the rage becomes clarity. The avoidance becomes grounded presence. The numbness begins to thaw. The fear becomes sacred responsibility. And the shame becomes your quiet strength. Yes, the patterns, they'll rise again and again. And yes, the ego may resist. But each time that you choose awareness over reaction and presence over performance, you are walking the path of inner masculine healing and alchemy. You are becoming the healed magician, the healed king, the one who holds not just others, but yourself. You are not here to dominate. You are here to hold, to guide, to protect, to stay present with love, even when it's hard. And this is not the masculine in exile. This is the masculine in return. Sometimes these wounds, they were passed through lineages, from grandfathers who swallowed grief to fathers who never learned how to say, "I'm proud of you." And sometimes we get cut open by the very people we trust that love us. Often that's our parents, our family, and our friends. Sometimes the wounds come through heartbreak, betrayal, and abandonment. And sometimes they come from a culture that has punished tenderness and praised performance. But here in this moment, you are offered something new, a return, a remembering, a rebuilding of your inner temple, not through force, but through presence. So take another breath. Just place your hand on your heart and just ask yourself, where does the wounded masculine live within me? Where have I traded my truth for control or presence for performance? There is no shame here, only an invitation to come home, to lead not from fear but from love, to forge what was broken and turn it into something holy. This is the art of masculine healing. It's not about escaping the wound, but it's walking through the shadowlands and forging the gold that lives inside the fire. So now, beloved one, let this be your remembering, not of who the world told you to be, but of who you already are beneath the wounds, the weight, and the forgetting. You are not here to carry what was never yours. You are here to stand, to lead, to feel, to rebuild the bridges between your heart and your power. The sacred masculine, he is not outside of you. He is within you, waiting for your breath, your presence, and your yes. So breathe deep, anchor in, and step forward, not as the wounded masculine, but as the emperor who came home to himself. And as above, so below, as within, so without. And when you rise in truth, the world shifts around you. And when you reclaim your sacred masculine, you bring balance not only to your body, but to the earth, the collective, the cosmos. This is not just your healing, it is the collective remembering. So this is your becoming, and it begins now. And so it is. Namaste.